Okay, y'all. So me and this guy have served you up several heaping wind nuggets this week. You might be sore from some of them, or you might be sore just because life. So we're gonna get down on the ground. We're gonna string together just a couple of little super easy moves that are going to address low back, piriformis, and a few other areas where a lot of people don't stretch out, don't take the time to do the rehab work, or just have injuries because those are places that get injured easily. Low back, sciatic nerve, all of these areas are pretty typical. If you're over 25, you tend to ache in these places. So join me down on the ground. First things first. Find a little piece of carpet if you don't have a yoga mat, or you can put a towel down, it's totally fine. And you're going to get down on your back and hug your knees in. No, you don't need to investigate. Everything's fine. I love you so much. I'm good. Everything's good. Don't interrupt this. All right, so interact with your animals in whatever way they will interact with you, because animals, when their parents are on the ground, do seem to be just like, I don't need help. I'm okay. I love you so much. All right, so we're going to start rocking. We're going to rock, and we're going to rock even if it's a little uncomfortable. Obviously, if you're on the floor, I love you so much, but you don't need to stand right there to monitor everything that I'm doing. All right, so when you're doing this, you are bringing fluid and some blood and oxygen, but some of that lubricating joint fluid into that low back that can get super crunchy. This is really good at the beginning of a workout to prevent back injury, but it's especially nice at the end of the day before you get in bed, fall asleep, and then possibly end up in the same position for many hours. It will prevent a certain amount of stiffness and discomfort. So we're gonna rock through back and forth. If you want, you can also kind of rock side to side here, which will give you a little bit, it's like the world's cheapest massage, basically. So you can use gravity to pull you and your tissue down into the ground, get a little resistance there. Okay, so now that you are opening up and limbering up this low spine, giving it a little love, let's give it a little bit more love and also address that tight piriformis, this muscle here that can start to be really problematic for people with sciatic pain. We're just gonna go into a nice figure four. So take one leg, put it flat on the ground, keep it close to your butt if you're able to. Doesn't have to be right there, but if you can get it there, that's great. Now you're gonna take your leg and drape it across, flex your foot. You're gonna take these hands and reach through this leg that's on the ground and pull it up. You're going to pull this thigh closer and closer with each breath, but you're only pulling it a tiny bit closer. You're inhaling into, so this crease here, you're inhaling into that crease only on this side, the side that has the leg folded across. So when you inhale, think about sending oxygen there, and then as you exhale, pull this leg just a little bit closer. This one right here. Inhale. And pull a little closer. Inhale. Pull a little closer. Very nice. And switch sides. So take this leg now, the one that was just folded across, put it flat on the floor, scoot it very close to your butt cheek, as close as you can get it, cross this leg over, drape that leg across your thigh, bring the leg up, reach through, and grab that opposite thigh. We're gonna repeat. Inhaling and exhaling, pulling closer. Inhaling, exhaling, pulling closer. Inhaling, exhaling, pulling closer. Maybe if you want, if it feels good to you, you can rock a little in this position. I sometimes find that rocking in these places on the ground gives me a little bit more space to work in. Love it. Okay, carefully unfold, pushing up. So that one addresses some sciatic nerve pain. And if you do it longer and deeper, you can get even more benefit. So feel free to pause this and do that longer and then come back. We're now going to, and if you need to get a towel for your knees or a pillow for your knees, don't worry about it. Just grab the pillow, boop, put it on down and kneel on that sucker. Your low back that you were sending that joint fluid to and being really lovely to when we were rocking back and forth can get a little crunchy, obviously, throughout the day. One of the ways you can help that crunchiness is by getting into this kneeling lunge, but you want to be really careful in the kneeling lunge that you are growing up the whole time. Growing up. So if you just get into the lunge and then slam back, all you're going to do is crunch that back, those low discs, even more than they already were. It's just going to make it worse. So instead, take a nice, little bit wider than normal lunge. Inhale, grow straight up, and then as you're growing, lifting, I like to imagine that there's a hook at the back of my skull, and the hook is suspended to like a silver cord that's coming down from the ceiling, and that forces me like a marionette to be nice and tall. And then you're going to just lean a couple inches forward into this knee with all of your weight distributed evenly between your toe pads and the front of your foot and your heel, and you'll start to feel your hips and this IT band stuff in here, all of that, and your psoas start to open up a little bit. And when your psoas area opens up and lets go, it stops compressing your low back. If it feels crunchy back here, if this doesn't feel good, that means you have to grow up. We all need to grow up, but you specifically in this moment need to grow vertically up acutely in this moment, okay? Give it just a little bit more. You never want to torque forward or back in one of these the way they used to do in 80s gym classes, but you might, again, want to add a little movement just to see if you're holding tightness. So like a half inch, or maybe coming forward and back a little. Totally works fine. Let's switch sides and step up. Spread those toes nice and wide. Maybe scoot your foot out a little bit and start to come forward with weight into this front foot. Still staying nice and tall, attached to your marionette strings. Imagine you're in like an old NSYNC video, the one where they're puppets. Was that Bye Bye Bye? I'm old. Has anybody else noticed? And inhale into this space. Use your breath to try and get this stuff to start to release. Hands on your hips, right underneath your rib cage, can sometimes just be a nice, easy way to remind your body to grow up, because you can kind of press down on your hip bones and get that sensation of growing up. Just a little more. Gorgeous. Okay, since it's the end of the week, I'm gonna come down. First, we're gonna cross. If you're able to stack ankle over knee, oh good, you wanna be part of this also. If you're able to stack ankle over knee, just take the time to do so and really root down through your sit bones. Maybe this is not a good position for you. Do butterfly if butterfly works. Do legs straight ahead if that works. Either way, stack, ground, and give yourself a couple deep breaths, but think about using these breaths in your resting position with your sits bones nice and grounded and your spine nice and long to push out any of the shit that happened to you today, any of the nasty stuff you saw on the internet, any of the things that the cats in the yard next door did that you couldn't do anything about, that you were so upset about before. And you're going to inhale all of this relaxation, all of this light, all of this clean air, whatever visual works for you, you're gonna inhale that positive thing. I love the visual of inhaling Chinese or Japanese cherry blossoms on like a breeze. So if you've ever seen the imagery from old tapestries or paintings of these blossoms swirling on a breeze. Yeah, God, you're so close. If you have ever seen that, I love the visual of inhaling these beautiful blossoms on a breeze and then exhaling all the toxic crap. All of that shit that hurt, all of the bad news, all of the nasty comments, all of the times that somebody said a thing that was not nearly as supportive as it should have been. You're gonna inhale the flower blossoms, the light, and you're gonna exhale all the crap. You're gonna do that from here. So root down, maybe palms up, bring your shoulders away from your ears. I see you, everyone can see you. Bring your shoulders away from your ears, and we're gonna do 5 breaths of inhaling, beautiful, healing, relaxing, and exhaling utter toxic nonsense. Let's go. Hold. And exhale toxic nonsense loud. Sit for a moment. Inhale. Hold. Then make an O shape with your mouth and blow that toxic shit away from you. Inhaling light, flowers, air. Visualizing the things you want to let go and blowing them away like a hurricane blowing away a tiny boat. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. If you want a little added bonus, you can scoot all the way over to the wall that you are closest to and run your legs up the wall with your booty flush against the wall, lying with your back on the ground. And you're just gonna lay in that legs up wall position for another 5 or 6 minutes. Let all that blood move out of your limbs that had been down on the ground all day. Mix the mingle with all of the other stuff, flow back into your body, and continue that breathing while you're in that position. If not, turn me off, go to sleep, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you.